Hi everyone! Me and my dog Roxy are back with another video. In this video, we'll be making my crochet cropped cardigan. Now first, you'll need to download my pattern in the description. In this video, I will break down how to do all the stitches, but you'll need the pattern so you know specific stitch numbers for your size. The pattern is available in sizes from extra small to extra large. I used the Silky Soft yarn by Loops and Threads in the color Banana. I used a 4mm hook for this project. And for size small, I used about 2.5 skeins, but for larger sizes, you might need more. This is a beginner to intermediate level pattern. So let's get into it. Okay, so to get started, we are going to make our base chain. Now this is for the back panel of our cardigan. Again, you'll need the pattern to know the correct number of chains for this panel. So we're simply going to make a slip knot. Just like that. You're going to place your hook inside of your slip knot and pull just like that. Now we're going to start chaining. I've just finished up my base chain, which means we are going to start working on our clustered V-stitch. Now this is one of 2 stitches that you'll need to know for this pattern. So for the first row, in order to begin our clustered V-stitch, we are going to work into the 4th chain from our hook. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll be going into that 4th one. Now we're going to wrap our hook around the yarn and go into that 4th loop. You're going to grab yarn and you should have 3 loops on your hook. Then you're going to grab yarn and pull through those first 2 loops so you have 2 loops left on your hook. It feels like you're starting to do a double crochet, but it's going to look a little different from here. After you have these 2 loops on your hook, you're going to wrap your needle around your yarn again, and you're going to go into that same stitch, just like this. Pull yarn and pull through. Now you should have 4 loops on your hook. Then you're going to wrap the yarn, go through 2, then you're left with 3 loops on your hook, and then you're going to wrap your yarn and go through all 3. Okay, that was a lot. This is only half of the clustered V-stitch. But the good news is, in order to make the clustered V-stitch, you're going to just do the exact same thing in the same stitch. So we're halfway done. In between the stitches, you'll need to do a chain. So once you do the double crochet cluster, you're going to make a chain and work it again into the same spot. So wrap around, go through your hook, grab your yarn, 3 loops on your hook. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. That's the beginning of the double crochet, but we're going to change it up from here. Wrap your yarn again, go through that same loop, grab your yarn. You should have 4 loops on your hook. Grab your yarn, pull through 2, and then pull through 3. So what I just did there is your clustered V-stitch, which is 2 double crochet clusters with a chain in the middle. Now just on the base chain, you're going to be skipping 2 stitches. So we just did our clustered V-stitch. Now we're going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and we're going to work into that 3rd stitch. We're going to do the exact same thing that we just did. Wrap your hook, go through the hole, grab your yarn, 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn, 2 loops, wrap your yarn again, go through that same spot, grab yarn, now you have 4 loops on your hook, grab your yarn, pull through 2, pull through 3. There we go. Remember, that's only half of it. Then we're going to chain 1 and do the exact same thing in the same exact spot. So wrap your yarn, go through the hole, grab the yarn, 3 loops on your hook, grab the yarn, pull through 2, wrap your yarn again, go through the same spot, grab the yarn, 4 loops on your hook, 2 loops, then pull through 3 loops. There you go. You can already see this V formation that is starting to form. Now, I know it seems like a lot of steps, but once you get a hang of it, it starts to actually work itself up pretty quickly. Also, I always tell my crocheters that it's hardest working on the chain. Once you finish this first row, it's going to get a lot easier from here. Now you're going to continue this stitch all the way along your chain until you reach the end. I'll meet you at the end where you should be left with 2 chains. Okay, I've made it to the end of my base chain. I hope that this clustered V-stitch has already gone a bit easier. I would also like to mention that in the specialty stitch and technique section of my pattern, you could see how to do this exact stitch broken down. Now that we're left with our last 2 chains, we're going to work a double crochet into that first original chain. So wrap your hook, go into that last chain space, grab yarn, you should have 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Great. Now this is the first row of our back panel. Now what I'm about to do is going to be what you're going to do for the rest of the panel. So once you get to the end, on either side, you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to turn your work, and you're going to work the clustered V-stitch in the other direction. Unlike the first time, instead of skipping 2 stitches, we are simply going to put our clustered V-stitches into that chain 1 space that we have. So I'm going to wrap my yarn, go into the hole, pull out, you have 3 loops on your hook, grab the yarn, pull through 2, wrap your hook, go through, pull the yarn, 4 loops on your hook, grab the yarn, pull through 2, and pull through 3. Same thing, chain 1, and you're going to do that double crochet cluster into that same exact stitch. It should start looking something like this. I'm going to do a few more just so you can see what it'll look like. At this point, you should start to see the stitch taking place. Again, you're going to keep working that clustered V-stitch into that chain 1 space. When you get to the end, you're going to work a double crochet into that same double crochet space that we had made before, chain 3, turn, and work your way back. You're going to do that for as many number of rows as you need for your size. So I've finished the correct number of rows for my size. Now I will say this is the longest part of the project. As you can see, we have these nice crisp edges. You want to try and make sure that your panel does not begin to work its way inwards. I've already went ahead and I made a slip knot at the end and tied it off. So now we're going to start working on our 2 side panels. We're going to put this aside for now, but we'll be back to it in a minute. In order to make our side panels, it's basically the exact same thing as the back panel, you're just going to start off with less chains. So you're going to start off by chaining the correct number of chains for your size. You're going to do the same thing, you're going to work into that 4th chain away from your hook. Just as we did in the back panel, you're going to work your clustered V-stitches all the way across until that last stitch where you're going to do a double crochet. Then you're going to chain 3 and turn, and you're going to work the clustered V-stitches all the way across. You're going to continue that until you get to the correct amount of rows. So I'll meet you there once I've finished. So I've finished my first side panel. Now remember that the number of rows that you have for your side panels should be the same number of rows that you have for your back panel. I would go ahead and check to make sure you have the same amount. This is our first side panel, which means that we need a second. There we go. So as you can see, I've already gone ahead and finished the second side panel. I think this one took the length of the Princess Bride movie, so both of them shouldn't take you very long. Now that you have both side panels and your back panel, most of the work is already complete. Now it's time to start the assembly. I'm going to put these away for now, and we're going to bring out our back panel. It's important to note that your V-stitches should be facing up in this portion. This way your panels aren't upside down. We're going to lay our first side panel down on top of it, just like that. And here's our second. If you're looking at your pattern, you can see the diagram as to where you should sew. You want to make sure that you leave the correct number of rows open on the side so you have the correct amount of space for your armhole. So we're going to be sewing along the top for the shoulders, and we're going to be sewing the little portions here. Again, leaving the correct amount of space on either side. You also want to make sure that the space you leave on this side is the same on this side so that your sleeves are even. In order to attach our panels, you're just going to work a simple single crochet along the panels. So I'm going to put this panel off to the side for now. You're going to make a slip knot. And you're going to attach that slip knot in the corner of your 2 panels. We're going to go bring our hook through, grab our slip knot. You're going to pull through and work 1 chain, just so it attaches. You're just going to work a single crochet through both sides. So go through like this, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn and pull through those 2 loops. Again, this does not have to be perfect. You won't be seeing this because this will be on the inside of your sweater anyways. Okay, so I've just about made it to the end of my front panel, and I'm going to make a slip knot, and I'm going to cut my yarn like that. So as you can see, you have our single crochet at the top, but let's look at it from the correct side. Because the single crochet is on the inside, you're left with this really nice clean finish on the outside. You're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I've just finished up sewing along the second panel. What you have to do is check your pattern to see how many rows you need to leave open according to your size. Count the number of rows, mark it, and then sew those portions together. Make sure that you're still working on the inside so that when you flip your cardigan inside out, all of the stitches are hidden. I finished up attaching where I needed to. I made sure that I left the correct amount of rows open and it's equal on both sides. We can flip our cardigan inside out to see what it's starting to look like. Now that we flipped it over so that the right sides are facing out, it's time to get started on the sleeves. I'm going to start with the right sleeve. You're going to take your yarn, you're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to attach it at the bottom of the sleeve hole. Okay, I'm going to pull my slip knot through, and you're going to start off by chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to work the clustered V-stitch around the sweater. So I'm going to work my clustered V-stitch here, there we go, that's 1 clustered V-stitch. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want to make sure that the distance between your stitches is pretty consistent. Now you're just going to work the clustered V-stitch all the way around the perimeter of the sleeve. And I'm going to meet you back at the end in just a minute. Okay, so I've almost made it around the whole perimeter of the sleeve. I'm just going to work 1 more cluster V-stitch into this last part here. We are going to make a slip stitch into this 3rd chain. Just like that. Now you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to work the clustered V-stitch into that chain 1 space all the way around. And you're going to do that for the appropriate number of rows for your size. Just finished up the first sleeve and I tied it off. Now it's time to do the exact same thing on this side. I have officially finished both sleeves. If you've made it to this step, congratulations, because there's only one last thing to do, and that is the edging. You can see on the diagram in the pattern that you put the edging around every edge of the cardigan. You can really start anywhere, but I'm going to start at the perimeter of this sleeve here. So I made a slip knot and I'm going to join it at the bottom of my sleeve. Our hook is joined on the bottom of our sleeve and we're going to start the picket edging. So in order to do that, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I already had that 1 chain from when I joined. And now you're going to make a slip stitch in that first chain that you made. So we have that first chain, you're going to go into that base stitch, you're going to make a slip knot, just like that, and now you're going to single crochet 3. So 1, go in, grab your yarn, pull through 2. That's number 2 and 3. Now you're just going to repeat that all the way around. As you can see, these bumps are forming, and this is the edging that you're going to put throughout the entire sweater. So let's show you one more time. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Go through that base chain, slip stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through everything, then single crochet 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to continue to do this edging all the way around the rest of the sleeve and then tie off. Then you're going to do it along this sleeve and then along this border. I've just finished the edging for the entirety of the crochet top. And if you're meeting me here, that means that you've officially finished the crochet cropped cardigan. Thank you so much for following along. The last step to do is to weave in the edges and find a cute top that'll match. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, or you can DM me on my Instagram at meganscraftdiary. And if you complete this top, I would love it if you tag me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.